How do you go from nothing to quitting your job and having complete freedom in your life with the Amazon book publishing business model? That's what we want to talk about in this video. We're going to go through all the steps and basically put ourselves in the position of someone who has no money, no job, nothing, and they're in a place where they're not happy about their life. And how can they get to a position where they can have a successful publishing business and have complete freedom in their life to do whatever they want and not have to rely on a job for income and all this other bullshit that no one wants.
Yeah, because it's really not rocket science. Anyone can follow these steps and make it happen in less than 1 year.
So let's say you're a 25-year, I mean, your age doesn't matter. Male, female, you're a single person plopped on this earth. You have no job and you have absolutely no money.
Let's say you have $100 in your bank account.
All right.
Which,
What's the very first thing that I would do if I was in that position?
Step number 1.
So this is not complicated, right? But it's also not an enjoyable journey to go through, but it's something that you have to do if you want to achieve, this life of freedom. Right?
I've been trying to figure out if you can skip this step, but you really can't. You really can't.
Yeah, and we went through this, and every single person that now has a successful business, they've done the exact same thing. Okay, so that is to simply get a job. Okay, you have to get a job that's going to pay you money instantly. You can't start a business from scratch because you're not going to get paid instantly for that work. When you have a job, you're going to show up and you're going to get paid, I don't know, what is it, every 2 weeks they pay you? Mm-hmm. No matter what, you just have to show up and you'll make money. If you have no business experience, you want to start your own business, it's going to, for one, take time for you to start making money, and you have to actually do a good job, and that can take time to learn. But at a job, you just have to show up.
When people ask, what's the easiest way to make money? Is to get a job. It's the easiest way to make money. And to start building something online, an online business, you don't need money, but
having money to live, though.
Yeah, you need money to live, but yeah, right. Having money makes it infinitely easier. Quick example, it's trying to start a business without any money. Again, it can be done. It's like trying to get in shape, get ripped from home without a gym. It's gonna make everything a lot harder.
So what kind of job should you get? Well, first of all, the most important thing is that, it's got to be a full-time job where you can work as many hours as possible.
Because there's one purpose to this first step. It is cash accumulation. Mm-hmm. And it's just the more you work, the more cash you can accumulate.
Now, in this example, we'll take someone who has no degree, no nothing. All you can get is an entry-level job. To be honest, I'm not very experienced in terms of what is available out there. You got
waiters.
They
get tips. So be a good waiter, get fat tips.
Supermarket, delivery driver jobs, which, although you need a car for that, but we'll get into that.
I know jobs that you get tips from can pay really well.
But the point is just to get something that honestly just pays as much as possible. You're not going to get something that pays really well, but if you get up to $15 an hour, then I think that's a very good opportunity for you.
Yes. And then step number 2, while you are working full-time job, as many hours as you can, really, if it takes 50, 60 hours, do that. Because it's moving you towards your goal faster than any other actions you could take.
Now, this part sucks.
Oh, this part, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. But you can almost kind of frame it in your mind as if this is me on my journey towards freedom. Mm-hmm. And then it can make it not so shitty. It can actually be you're right, this is me putting in the work, and it can motivate you.
And it shouldn't last more than a year.
No, definitely not. No.
A lot of people have a really tough time thinking beyond 1 year. They think, I have to work this out for a year? Man, that's too long.
You can go from nothing. I'm talking from dirt to literally free in a year. And that's what this video is about. So let's just continue. And if you're having trouble getting a job, continue applying and things like that. People say, I can't get a job.
You can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Then you're not trying hard enough. There are jobs everywhere.
Yeah.
You just have to keep looking and keep trying. It might not happen the first time or the second time or the third time, but they're out there, okay?
This is not a software developer job, entry-level jobs. Okay, anyway, while you're doing that, keep expenses as low as humanly possible. Here's the best way to keep expenses low. Live at home with your mom or your dad or both. If you have that option, I would ask your parents and see if you can do that. But if not, probably most people don't have that option. Try to get rent as low as possible, around $500. I know this sounds crazy, but here's how it's done. With roommates.
You could get down to $200, $300 if you got roommates.
You really can. Mm-hmm. So get roommates. Just keep that super, super, super low.
So look, what other expenses do you need to survive? Food, eat eggs, rice, beans, oats, like all the cheapest foods. Remember, it's just a temporary period of time.
Yeah. And when it comes to keeping expenses low, literally, if you can save $300 a month extra in rent and food and these things combined, that's $300 you're making.
I was going to say every dollar saved is a dollar earned, but
It's
when you earn
more
money, you have
than
to
that.
pay taxes.
It's
so
more than that.
It's actually more.
Yeah. A
But-
dollar saved is like $1.20 earned, depending on your tax bracket. But do these two things concurrently to begin with. That's the most important foundation you could possibly have.
Look.
Because then your bank account can go from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 month by month. You can save at least $1,000 every single month after taxes, after everything.
Look, you're not going to have a car unless you have a delivery driver job and you can use it to make money. Or Uber or Lyft. That's actually an option too. I forgot about that.
Also-
or else don't have a car because it costs money. You're not doing any activities. You're not doing anything fun in this period of time. It's temporary, okay? You can do it for a short period of time.
You should still keep a gym membership. Planet Fitness, $10. I'm just trying to think, what else do you need to live? House over your head, food to put in your mouth, and a
Insurance.
gym membership.
Insurance.
Insurance, yeah.
Besides those things, you don't need to be spending money on anything else. Now, once you got the job going, you got expenses low, you're slowly stacking up money. Now we can start thinking about getting into publishing and building your own income online and side hustle thing, okay?
Let's not even say getting into publishing. Let's just say getting into the world of making money online, having an online business, because we're not going to be biased, but we will talk about the different options. And I firmly believe in every way, shape, and form that publishing is the best option for complete beginners, and we can get into why that is.
Look, the main reason why is because you get started for literally without a penny out of your pocket.
Yeah,
And,
that's a rare opportunity.
And we'll talk about this, but before you even get started publishing, let's say you're a clean slate, you know nothing. And you can start going on YouTube and listen to podcasts and these free resources to start gaining knowledge about publishing and all this. But I would not advise that you would start getting into it without proper training, because you're simply wasting money in terms of mistakes, time in terms of mistakes. Rather, save up the money, buy some sort of training program that's going to teach you exactly how to do it. Okay.
Training, coaching, so that someone is there to guide you along the way. Because if you start, again, I don't want to just assume it's publishing. We haven't talked about that. The online business model that you want to get into, you're going to start an online business. That's the only way you can become free and stuff. The other options that technically isn't an online business, like crypto, day trading, listen, I don't mean to offend anyone, but that shit is not a business. No. That's not a long-term solution. It's borderline just gambling every day, and it's not a business. You cannot use that as your main source of income. You could do it on the side. No. So those are out of the equation. So we need a real business.
What are the other options? You have Amazon FBA. That's going to require a big upfront cost of thousands of dollars in inventory.
Minimum $3K, more like $5K. And here's the thing. There's a lot more things that can go wrong with an Amazon FBA business. Again, we have a little bit of experience with it, but we have friends who started Amazon and FBA, then moved into publishing, and they, I'm talking about Daniel, right? Yeah. He makes YouTube videos. He's going to, on our channel, Daniel Locke, he's going to make a video talking about the differences between Amazon FBA and publishing, because he's crazy passionate about, like, the best kind of Amazon business to begin is a book publishing business, not a physical products business. So I'll save it for that, let him say it.
As a beginner with no money, Amazon FBA really isn't an option.
Yeah.
You have things like drop shipping as well, which you can get started for little money, but there's much greater risk.
Quick thing on drop shipping, this will rub some people the wrong way, but I have a strong opinion that drop shipping is a trap of an online business to begin, because the whole thing is about, people showing these flashy dashboards about making 10K in a month, 20, 30, 50, but what people don't understand is that is revenue numbers. And when you actually dig deeper and find out what the actual profit margins are, because profit pays the bill. Revenue is useless, completely useless. Profit is what matters. Someone making $50,000 a month in revenue could be making literally nothing in profit. I'm not saying that's the case for all. It most certainly isn't. But general profit margins for dropshipping stores that I'm aware of, again, some people disagree, a lot of cases are less than 10%.
If you're unaware of the model, understand that in order to make sales with dropshipping, it's all backed by lots and lots
Ads.
of ad costs.
Again, that's
very
cash.
high ad costs.
You need cash for that.
Okay.
So what are the other options here? My thing with the other options that are available to you, like becoming a coach, a consultant, a service provider, like you can, that's certainly not a bad option. However, it requires skills, experience. It requires you to have something that you bring to the table and can help others with. Now, I'm just going to assume that this person we're talking about here just is a blank slate and doesn't have any skills, can't be a coach in something. And it's just not something that's super friendly for beginners because it can't apply to everyone. And it's just one of those business models that requires you to grow a ton
as a person.
And that's amazing. Obviously, that's incredible. But it's really difficult as a beginner to learn phone sales. That's how you sell, coaching, consulting, and services. It's on the phone. There's a lot of skills that you need to really commit to, and it's not the same kind of easy route.
Yeah. So within publishing, none of that is required, which could be looked at as a good thing and a bad thing. It could be a bad thing because it doesn't force you to grow so much, but it's a good thing that you don't need many skills to get started, right? So if you ask me, publishing is by far the best option for a beginner with no money. Okay, so like I said, you should get training first before you start getting into publishing because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to waste more money doing and trying different things than you will just the cost of whatever training you decide to get. But before you can afford a program, use free resources on YouTube, podcasts, whatever, and just start filling your brain with information. Now let's fast forward to the point where you can afford to buy some sort of course or program.
It doesn't have to be hours. Yeah, we sell a publishing course. It could be anyone. We're not here to sell anything like that. I don't care.
As much as this seems like a sleazy tactic to get people to join our program because we're saying these are the steps you should follow, find me any successful person that will tell you otherwise.
Yes.
That will not tell you to invest in program or training.
Yeah.
Find me someone.
Yeah.
If someone says that's not worth it or it's a waste of money or you can find it all for free on YouTube, these are people that are not making good money in whatever business they're talking about.
Understand what training and coaching is. It's help from people who have done it before, giving you resources to help you. Not just the training, but community, connections, experience, telling you what not to do, what to do. So it's honestly just stupid when people pretend like you should not invest in training and coaching and help from someone who's already done it. Anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Let's say you invested in this training. Now you can actually start publishing. You have the knowledge to start publishing the free way, which is we have a solid amount of training in our program about that. So let's talk a bit about that. Now, the way that we publish books is by hiring ghostwriters, narrators, cover designers to create these things for us that we then package together and sell on Amazon. But if you don't have any money, you can't pay someone to do it. Therefore, you have no other option but to do it yourself. You're going to be writing the book yourself, creating the cover yourself, and narrating the audiobook yourself if you choose to do that as well.
And it's an amazing thing because you now have the opportunity to make money with no money. And I think a lot of people don't realize how rare that actually is. So just briefly on publishing the free way and what that looks like. It's not you sitting there writing books yourself. I would never expect anyone to be able to sit down and write a book. But inside of AIA, our publishing course, we have training called the Low Content Kickstarter, which is a 2-hour-long training about how to create low content books and audiobooks. A low content book is, as you would expect based on the name, a book with little amounts of content, a lot less than a normal book. It can be 5,000 words, 3,000 words. It can even be just 2,000 words. Yet, the way it is formulated and structured, it could create an audiobook that is 2, 3, 4 hours long. Full-length book. And it's not your traditional kind of book. We have videos on YouTube. I don't want to go too deep into it, otherwise the video will get too long, but it entails you creating a manuscript yourself, creating a book cover yourself, which you can do on Canva. Amazing place to make book covers yourself. It's crazy, that resource. And then potentially even narrating yourself. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. Like, I definitely can't do that. In most cases, you probably just have a mental block telling you, I can't narrate an audiobook, because why can't you? Unless you have a stutter or some sort of
speech impediment,
there really is not a reason why you can't do that. Again, here's the great thing about doing something like that. It's forcing you to grow. You're going into something brand new, something you've never done before. You're going to gain a new skill in the process, and you're going to gain a lot of confidence in the process as well, going into something, and you come out on the other side and be like, damn, I actually was able to do that. But you also have other options. You could do a royalty share with a narrator. That way they narrate your book for free, but at the expense of 50% of lifetime royalties. So I don't recommend that because that can end up being thousands and thousands of dollars down the line.
Audiobook narration in the first place is very cheap.
It is crazy cheap. It's weirdly cheap.
We're talking about completely free, so that's why we're saying narrate yourself. But it's not a bad idea just to put $100 aside to get your audiobook narrated.
See, here's what I really would recommend with your first low content books and audiobooks is where you're really going to save the most money is with the writing. That's what is the bulk of the expenses to begin with. The book cover, $10, $20 isn't even a big expense. Have that professionally made. The narration can be as low as, it all depends on how long it is, but $50 to $100. So those two expenses specifically, I would just personally invest in. Now you can create books for like $100, $120. But the way the low content publishing model works is it's a very different approach. You know, when we have books ghostwritten, we're investing money, we're investing time, focus, getting reviews, just spending a lot of time on few books so that they can go on and make 4 figures a month rather than having to invest in a lot of books to make a lot of money. Invest in a few books to make a lot of money. But the low content approach is a little bit opposite, where there is not big financial resources that need to be invested. It doesn't take a lot to create. These are short books. There's no risk. So the approach is more of a volume game. Just get stuff out there, get things selling, and create cash flow. And that's why the training that we have on low content publishing is called Low Content Kickstarter. To kickstart your publishing business, kickstart your sales, your cash flow, and then you take that money. Again, it's part of the cash accumulation process. While you're working your job, while you're keeping expenses low, now you're making money that can further go into real full-length ghostwritten books.
Right. So once you got your low content books flowing, they're making a bit of money. You still have money coming in from your job because you're still working as many hours as you can because you're getting immediate money right away that you can save up to invest into books. So once you got some money flowing, then you can start investing into full-length books and just, I mean, it's not more complicated than that. Now you're dedicated to your publishing business, but you're still showing up at your job as much as you can and collecting that money to continue investing into books, continue investing into books.
The thing is, low content audiobooks are just a fantastic way to get started on a tiny budget. You know, getting your foot in the door with no risk at all and just getting going with things. Because one of the worst excuses for people to not take action is, I don't have the money. You know, people just always looking for reasons to not do things. And it's, you know, those are the people who go nowhere.
Now, at this point, you just need to grind and chip away at your publishing business every single day for weeks and months. When the first money in your business starts coming in, reinvest it. Reinvest it. Keep reinvesting so you can keep growing, okay?
And we'll talk tactics and specifics in other videos. Otherwise, this will be like a very long video.
Now, of course, during this phase, you're going to keep working at your job. But the whole point of this is to quit your job so that you can have the freedom to travel, do whatever you want, and make all of your income from your publishing business. So the time that you want to quit your job is, it's not at a specific number because it depends on your situation. But here's how you know when to quit your job. When the hours spent at your job are making you less money than the hours that you put into your publishing business, meaning you're losing money by showing up to your job. Now, just to explain exactly what I mean, if you're working in a publishing business, now it's hard to measure exactly, but if for every hour you put in, you're making $25, but at your job you make $15, you're losing money if you're actually showing up to your job because you could be making more by putting that time into your publishing business instead. Now, exactly what income level, you know, this happens at is hard to say. Perhaps it's around $4,000, $5,000 a month. I don't know.
Listen,
but when you reach that phase, quit your job because you're actually losing money by sticking with it.
When it's time for you to quit your job depends a lot on the second thing that we talked about, how low your expenses are. If your expenses are too high, then you need to wait longer until you can quit your job because it just eats into the runway that you have.
Look, the harder.
But if you have expenses super low, you can actually quit your job at a really early point in time.
The harder you go with keeping expenses low, working at your job, growing your publishing business, the harder you go, the shorter this shitty time period lasts. It's not going to be fun, but you can really scrunch this down into like a 6, 7, 8 month period of time.
Yeah.
Now, for us, it lasted around 12, 14, 16 months where we were in this phase. And then eventually we were making so much from our publishing business. I actually had a dropshipping store. You know, that's a completely different story. but I was still making money from books at that time. Where it then made sense for us to quit. We did, and then we actually moved our assets to Thailand. So that's actually the last step that I want to cover. Here's what I would do. This is not for everyone, but I do believe that this is one of the best things you can do for the growth of your publishing business and success overall.
Agreed.
When you are at that phase where you can quit your job, you're making money from your publishing business, but to be honest, even so, you don't need to be making money from publishing at all. Either make money from your business or have a solid chunk of money saved up. Let's say $5,000.
6-month runway. Yeah, that's really all you need.
But what I would do when you're in that state is I would go to a cheap country, Bali. I know it's not a country, it's an island. Bali, Thailand, somewhere else in Southeast Asia that has a digital nomad community. The two I just named are good examples where you can live much cheaper, and you're basically throwing yourself into a position where you can't go to a job and make money. You have no choice but to work in a publishing business and for it to make money for you. And you will be surrounded by a community of other entrepreneurs as well. In that case, you're just surrounding yourself with the right people and not having the negative energy of your friends and family saying, this is stupid, why are you doing this? You can't do this. Yeah, go to college instead. Get a job instead. Yeah. That bullshit is fucking toxic.
I bet people
get that out of your life.
I bet a lot of people can relate to that, and it's hard to avoid because like people like us, people who want to create an online business, do their own thing, we're weird in society. So you're going to be shamed by people, even people who love you, like your parents. They think they're helping, but they just don't know better. They don't know that making money through the internet is a real normal. It's actually like it's normal to us. They don't know it's real and possible because 10 years ago, the entire life they've known, that didn't exist.
They think you have some crazy idea that's not real and whatever, but we know that's not the case. Yeah. But get away from that, and the best way is to just move to some cheap-ass country where you can live extremely cheap and surround yourself.
Right.
So this isn't for everyone, but to be honest, like I can't imagine see a reason why someone shouldn't do this. Now, I know some people have families, kids. It's not that easy. I understand that. If you're a single person and no other commitments, then this is really easy to do. But I do believe that even if you have whatever going on, you can find a way to make this happen. Okay?
Yeah. Again, it goes back to keeping expenses low. Going to one of these places, you will be keeping expenses way lower than you ever could in America. Like, for example, in Bali, that is by far the place we would recommend out of any place. Bali is the shit.
I'm going to throw up a screenshot right now.
Okay. Yes.
You can get a room at a nice guest house, which has a pool. It's got a little kitchen and a bathroom for you, all private, your room at least, but the pool you'll be sharing with other people, for $200 a month. $200 a month.
And then food, another $200 a month. You can have your expenses under $500 and actually live nicely. Like actually nicely there.
I mean, you're not balling out, but you're fine. Obviously. You got everything you need.
Yeah. You know? So another gigantic pro to moving to a place like Bali. I really want to talk more about that because
let's make a video about that.
I feel like there's a lot of people who aren't doing it just because they're scared or they're doing it alone or it's really uncomfortable because no one else has ever done it. Really, just because they hear
being told they're crazy for wanting to do that.
Yeah, like deep down they really, really want to. They see other people, they really want to, but they don't because of some blocks. Yeah. It's a life-changing experience.
We can make a separate video about that, but that's all the steps going from absolutely nothing to having a publishing business in this case that makes money, quit your job, complete freedom, and then you begin traveling and doing whatever the hell you want.
In less than 12 months. It is a foolproof plan.
Now, from here on after, just keep growing your publishing business. Like, there's not much more to say, okay?
Again, I know in this video, we haven't talked about how to do that. That's not what this video was about. We have tons of other videos on that. We'll make more videos in the future, but this video wasn't about how to exactly do that. It was the big overall plan.
So to finish up this video, I just want to wrap up all the steps, right? 1, get a job. 2, keep expenses as low as possible. 3, use free resources to just gain knowledge until you can afford a course. Then buy a course. I guess that's step 4. Then start publishing the free way using the teachings in that program. Then start using the money that you've earned from the freeway and from your job to invest into real full-length books. Then eventually quit your job once that makes you enough money. And step 8, go to Bali, Thailand, wherever you want. This is a bonus step if you want to do it, but I really, really, really think it's a good idea.
And then what do you do after that? We'll have that conversation another time.
The how-to is not the challenging part. But getting yourself to do these things which aren't fun, admittedly, not fun at all, is the challenging part. But understand that it's a temporary period of time, and you're freeing yourself up literally for the rest of your life if you do that.
Yeah.
So buckle down for a year, go through hell. To me, having a job is like hell, and just suck it up and do it.
Most people don't realize that they can actually do this.
Look, all these other success stories that you see, they went through this. They did not do something where they didn't have to go through all these shitty parts, okay? They've done it. It's your rite of passage to this entrepreneur freedom lifestyle, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's the most motivated people, the people who want it the most, who just won't quit and won't stop and will just keep on going. They make it out to the other side 100% of the time.
That's why it's not IQ that determines success within publishing and entrepreneurship.
No, not at all. Because we're not very smart.
All right, that's it. Let's wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment with whatever thoughts you have. And if you have any reason why anything that we said you can't do yourself, meaning an excuse why it can't be done, let me know, and I'm basically going to smash why that's just an excuse and you can't do it.
Yeah, and if you watch this video all the way to the end, this is totally 20 minutes plus, drop the diamond ring emoji down below to show us that you watched to the end. And also give us your thoughts on the video while you do that.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Love you all. See you guys in the next video.